Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Currents, a podcast of Big Ocean Women. We are the world's leading maternal feminist organization dedicated to promoting perspectives of faith, family, and motherhood. We're so excited to have you here today. I'm Dana Robb.
I'm Shannon Russell.
And we are here with two incredible women, Susana Lopes and Laura Uplinger. They're both part of the Prenatal Alliance, and they're going to share some exciting things today. One of them is a prenatal wellness virtual summit that's happening in just around the corner, and also World Pregnancy Day, which is March 22nd, and they're going to talk about how they're going to be celebrating that, and we want to share some of that with you. But first of all, let's learn about our guests. Susana, will you share a little bit about yourself? And then Laura, would love to hear about you too.
Sure. Hi, everybody. Thank you for having me. It's really good to be here with all of you. Prenatal Alliance was created in 2020 with a group of around 15 people from around the world. I'm the Secretary General, but our Prenatal Alliance works on a horizontal way. That means that everybody on the board has exactly the same. It's equal. That's how we like to work with. So we share what we would like to do, we discuss, and only when everybody agrees, then we move forward with it. My background, first of all, I'm a mother of three. That's a big achievement for me. And I'm also a yoga teacher. I work specially with prenatal yoga, and I'm also a Pilates teacher. And that's how I came to know more about, what pregnancy is, what are the feelings of the mother, and how they can affect the baby inside. So everything brought me to this field, and because of that, I wrote a book which is called Yoga and Motherhood, to help share the information on prenatal education and prenatal wellness around the world. Yeah.
My journey on the in this universe, amniotic universe, as Thomas Verne says, started in the late 70s. I was studying psychology, applied psychology. There was absolutely no room in psychology or science for anything about the mind of a pregnant woman affecting her baby, but zero. And I found it so interesting. It caught my attention. And I remember thinking, perhaps it will take 100 years for science to find out, because they were in love with genetics. Epigenetics had not come about yet. And I liked the idea of um, being innovative on something so old, dictated by so many traditions all over the world, in Africa, Americas, Asia, ancient and modern, but traditions. And then would come science saying, nope, life starts at birth, period. Education cannot start before. I was wrong. It started 10 years later. In the end of the 80s, cell biology came up with epigenetics, and it was at the very beginning. And I loved it because suddenly there I was with a spotlight, not asking just people to travel with me to the womb of their mother. I could speak the language of cell biology. So I am here, very happy to have been wrong for some 90 years in my speculations. And it has been a joy for me to speak about this universal understanding, because all of us had it. We all were fetuses and embryos. But then we have now a dialogue, a conversation about the relevance of the mind, the inner life of a pregnant woman, and the power it has over the quality of our civilization. So, Prenatal Alliance is a dream come true to me, and Suzanne is an amazing locomotive. So, there we are, our board meetings, just 9 o'clock in Brazil, 9, 9 a.m., 9 p.m. in Japan, and so many countries in between. And what a joy. And I was with you um, in 2019 at a meeting in Utah of the journalists of the UN, and you invited me so graciously to speak about what happens in the womb as far as our psyche that
Yeah.
stays with us through life.
Yes, that's right.
Thank you. It's beautiful. Well, thank you, ladies, for introducing yourselves. I'm really excited to be able to be here with you today. So, as you know, our name, Big Ocean Women, comes from the idea that we are each just one drop in the ocean of people, But as we come together, we can do really powerful things. We can become a mighty ocean of women. So, Susanna, what are your thoughts on coming together in a powerful global sisterhood?
I think the word sisterhood says it all. One of the things that we have on Prenatal Alliance, when I was talking about that, everybody in the board has exactly the same value, is because we want to, break down the models of competition or just guidance or just guide one person that will guide everyone else. I think sisterhood is actually the potential that we have in all of us, knowing that we also have the potential to express ourselves in our best ways, and we can come together and work together as a sisterhood. So I think that the value of the work that you do is also what we try to achieve. So unify everyone globally, but not by everybody thinking on the same way, but joining in conversation. Fostering global knowledge, support one another, leading in transformative ways, and understanding how can we change the paradigms, how can we change the world in a way that not only values women, but because women are the mothers of families, of the next generations that are coming. So that's why I think that the work that you do are it's so valuable, and that is why we invited you to become our partners, because we really cherish everything that you do, and it has makes a lot of sense with the things that we also are our mission and our values. Don't you think, Laura? I think that's how
Yeah,
it
and that
comes.
sisterhood, it's about time, right? Because we are sisters. So let's live this sisterhood for real. And in the very beginning and the onset of life, so much can be done in the harmonious way that will make it so much easier later on for this boy or girl growing up at school, at work. I mean, we have power in prenatal life and the early years. Let's use that power as educators, molecular educators, soul educators, educators.
I like that. I like that idea of being a molecular educator. Lara, you mentioned this, this board meeting that you guys have starts at 9 a.m. in one country and not 9 p.m. in another, and this vast difference of women across. What are some of the benefits you've seen from working with women around the world and in other organizations?
Um, Mainly the universality of this knowledge that we all love so much. So you speak with somebody in India, speak with somebody in Japan, in Turkey, and we have the same language. We adapt the vocabulary. One is a gorgeous psychologist for birth and does things with theater. Wonderful. And her husband is an obstetrician. And then you have Susanna, who teaches yoga classes to pregnant women. But when we get to the core of it, and it happens with you also at Big Ocean Women, we are speaking the same language. I remember my relief of meeting you at the UN, at the CSW, the Commission on the Status of Women. Nobody cares about motherhood. They want women in the workforce, and they speak about everything else about women, which are important things. But what about mothering and enjoying it? Because for them it seems like no, it's been done. It has not been done, and for millennia we're missing that step of the comfort of a woman during pregnancy and the early ages, and not delegating breastfeeding and not delegating education, what you guys apply so well in Big Ocean Women. It has never been done in the ruling classes. This is perhaps it's a first for our planet.
Yeah,
Mm.
I would add another thing is that a lot of people, when we say that we have people on our organization that are from Canada, from France, from the United States, from Turkey, from India, from Japan, from China, from Norway, we have so many on our board, and they ask, how it is to manage to be with so many diverse cultures. We don't feel it because in our core we are human beings. We are human beings, and we are attached with the same values and with the same mission to educate about pregnancy, the influence that, that our physical, psychological, spiritual bodies have on promoting the creation of the new generation, of a new baby, welcoming a new baby into this world. So there's actually no frontiers. I think that we see our work as we were watching above, like in an airplane, looking down for the planet. There's no frontiers for what human beings can do when we are together and we value and cherish humankind.
Yeah, that's beautiful. There are no frontiers. It's so true. And I think this is a great time for us to talk about this prenatal summit that you guys are hosting. Tell us a little bit more about this event, who it's open to, when it's happening, and the purposes, what you're hoping to accomplish with it.
Yeah, so we Prenatal Alliance launched the initiative of creating the World Pregnancy Day because we said there's so many days that we are actually, promoting and cherishing and internationally, but there's no one, none, not one about pregnancy, not one about pregnancy. And in a time where I was writing an article and I came across to this thought that we see on social media, everything is about artificial intelligence and all of that, and new technologies, and sometimes even talking about womb technology. And I think, oh my God, enough, enough. Let's talk about the art of being born.
Yeah.
Hey, this is something that can never be replicated. I could never tell a computer what it's like to be born, what it's like to have a pregnancy, what it's like to have, this DNA from our ancestors coming into our bloodstream, into
Mhm.
our psychic, into ourselves. Enough. I'm not against technology. I think it's great. That's why we are here and we can connect. But what are the values that we want this technology to have, right?
Mhm.
So when we thought about the initiative of the World Pregnancy Day, I told everybody, hey, we have to do this. We have to come. There's a lot of reasons why not to do it. There's only one why to do it, because it's the right thing to do. We need to take this awareness to the mainstream media, to the governments. We need to talk about this, how women can, we are Prenatal Alliance think that women are the primary educators. We don't need to teach anything. It's already there. It's already in us, right? We are the primary educators. Support, yes, because there are a lot of women in our world that need to be reminded of that. That's why we are here. It's to spread this information. So with the World Pregnancy Day on March 22, um, we talked with other organizations that, yeah, don't you want to support the initiative? And of course they say, oh, yeah, of course, of course, we are on the prenatal education field. We need to be with you, and you can check that out on our website. Everybody that is supporting us. And besides that, we thought, okay, so how can we commemorate the initiative? Because we are, just started. We started last year, and so we created the Prenatal Wellness Summit, and this year is going to be from the 21st to the 23rd of March.
March.
And it's a free summit. Everybody can just join us in. And what we did is, let's grab common people to this summit. Yeah, there are specialists, but there are also people that, women that are not known and are doing great work, that they can add value to other women. And that's what we did. So we are celebrating online first, hoping that within the next years, everybody's going to share this, is going to share the information, and maybe they can do activities on their own places too, and send us what they are doing, and we spread it out. So this initiative that we are doing is going to bring together more than 30 speakers, live speakers, and we are going to have workshops for pregnant women. The prenatal wellness virtual summit is also for professionals. Some people that are maternal caregivers, like midwives, doulas, obstetricians, medical physicians, and all of those fields. They come together because they really want to know new perspectives, not only on the physical health or the emotional health, but also on the spiritual health and the social health of mothers and babies, because mothers and babies, they influence the world in ways that sometimes it's not even imaginable. We sometimes, the work that we do, and I know that you must feel that in your organization, sometimes goes forward and in ways that you have never expected, and it's awakening people. So that's why we are, we want to cherish this opportunity to share information. I just wanted to say one thing that I added on the article that I was doing, which is, mothers are nurturers. They are teaching through love and care. Mothers are healers. They are soothing their babies with their voice, their presence. They are natural, intuitive, naturally knowing what feels right for their babies. And they are guides. They help their baby feel secure, feel loved, through every beat of their hearts. And this is what we want to share throughout uh, the, the summit.
Thank you. That's really exciting, and I wish that I had had this when I was having my babies. I've got 6 kids, and they range about 18 years apart. So the kind of mother I was with that first was very different
Mhm.
from the experience I had being pregnant with the last one. And, it there was a book that I read that changed my perspective on giving birth and the beauty of it was called The Gift of Giving Life. And that was such a gift to be able to read women's experiences being pregnant and giving birth. And it helped me appreciate that opportunity so much more. And I know that's, women vary with their feelings about being pregnant. So I love that you guys are providing this opportunity and gathering women around the world, and we'll definitely be sharing this.
Yes, I wish I would have had some information
Yeah.
when I was first started having children myself.
That's why we're doing this.
Mhm. It's
And it
beautiful.
is not something that neutral. It's not just because the beauty of it. There are other factions of science that want to free women from pregnancy. It exists, the artificial uterus, having
Mhm.
babies in little pods in the lab being gestated, and the mom with the phone saying, "Baby, I love you," and the phone is connected to the little pod.
Mhm.
Henry Atlan, a Frenchman who was an MD, very important at the beginning of assisted conception. He is in many ethical committees. He's an important man. His CV, curriculum vitae, is amazing. But he was the lead. Now he's quite old, but was the lead of saying we can have children conceived in the lab. We can help high grade prematures to be alive. Let's now take those 4 months that are there in the middle, 5 months, and see if we cannot find some amniotic fluid and some other ways so that we would have a perfect baby as far as mineral salts. I mean, this is like a very important agenda also for science. So we have on one side this blossoming understanding about pregnancy, the treasure it is, the power given to women through every second being the educator of the child and then welcoming that child and going through the whole breastfeeding stuff. And then we have women who don't want to give up a way of life, drinking or sleeping, I don't know, and working, and they will ask a surrogate mother and now a lab to
Mm.
take care of their babies. So it's so interesting. It's a time for choices, so many choices in politics, in economics, but also in motherhood. You know that perhaps better than we do because you are the heart of America, fighting as a simple voice for the beauty of motherhood, which seems to look sometimes backwards what you do. So how many children? What? Why not?
Laura, I love that you touched on that. So, Big Ocean women believe in the natural room that women provide, right? And so, do you think in general that other people understand the importance of this environment and how to protect it?
I think it's our mission, all of us here, the four of us, because it's not that obvious. Somehow culture has taken away, um, I don't know, a different path, but only because they could rely on the past. In the past, in psychohistory, we learned that it's one of the themes of our summit. As soon as you had enough money and social position, as soon as you had political clout or power in your family, women would never breastfeed. Marriages were arranged, and the wet nurse would be there at birth. There was one king of France who decided that his wife was going to breastfeed. And it was not a simple decision, it was a scandal at the court. It was Louis the Ninth. And said, Majesty, we don't do that. Like, to breastfeed is for the slaves, the servants. I mean, how come this king, from the right of God, he was king, how come he's asking his wife to breastfeed? And his wife breastfed. One
Fascinating.
king.
And I
So,
wanted to add another thing. There's another layers of science, because when Laura was saying, now it feels like there's two worlds going around, as we talk about, motherhood. The science is also colliding in many aspects, which I think is wonderful, because I think when there's collision, there's also the opportunity to see new things, right? It's not when everything is okay and static that we acknowledge there's other paths and there's other ways to do things. And I was checking on an article, and they were saying that uh, now they are thinking that memory is not actually storage on consciousness, which is I found it was very interesting. And they said now they think that our memories are stored in the water in our bodies, in the blood in our bodies, and that's what provides us with the vibration that we have. And suddenly I was writing the article about artificial intelligence and all of that, and the womb and the motherhood. And then I thought, oh my God, amniotic liquid, right? Water. That's what the mom is producing, and that's what the baby is literally drinking from the mother, right? And now we think about these technological wombs. What is the water that is there? What is the memory of that water that is there? How cold, I'm talking about psychologically, can that be? Can that memory storage be from a baby that could be produced on this type of womb, as opposed to the one that is cherished by a mother, that it's loving her baby, there is, sharing memories, emotions, reactions to her baby throughout the almost 10 months of pregnancy.
yeah,
Yeah.
and doctors would like to protect the babies from the mother when she's under chronic stress, for instance. And it's true, under chronic stress, my amniotic fluid, if I'm pregnant, have a different taste, and the baby will drink less, and it will kind of burn the
Mm.
throat. So the digestive tube won't be so well formed, because we need to swallow a lot of this amniotic fluid in the making of our digestive system. So they even use that as an argument. Like, women
Mm.
are not able to gestate the best. The circuitry, the neurophysiology, um, won't be so well as if the baby is in a lab, and let the machines do that. But then Susanna says, it's cold.
Mhm. Yeah, that's a good point. I think it's really fascinating, this idea of wanting to create a perfect womb environment for the baby. But is that really what we're after, right? Is that the best idea, or is there some value in having these nuances and differences with our own natural mother and our own womb, providing that environment? Um, what is there a purpose for the role of resilience and connection with the mother? Either one of you, how would you answer that?
I think
If I go
baby,
through
yeah,
ups
so
and downs, just a tiny bit, then I'll let you speak. If I go through ups and downs in my pregnancy, and when I have had a down, I say, babe, this was a hell of a day. Let's take a shower. We need to have tomorrow a better day at work, otherwise I'll lose my job. I am relating. I am showing that baby what happens with a shower by relaxing, like a resolution of an inner conflict. This is teaching. This is showing resilience. Yes, I was thrown aback, and then now I'm coming back to be myself. A machine cannot teach that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. And I think there are natural capacities that were formed by millions and millions of years of evolution. And babies also carry, and they have expectations, even though they are in the womb of their mother, right? So unborn babies are conscious, they are aware, they are learning from every emotion, every reaction that they experience from their mother about the outside world. What is the outside world? Should I be afraid of the outside world? Should I not be afraid of the outside world? I remember when I was doing my research, there was an experience, a mother telling her doctor, a psychiatrist, that she woke up in the middle of the night and she felt really afraid about the storm, and she was pregnant, and she said, "Oh, this is normal. I'm not afraid of the storm." And then she understood, no, this is not me, this is my baby. And then she communicated mentally with the baby and said, no, this is just a storm, it's normal, everything is fine, we are fine and we are safe. And she said immediately that emotion just vanished through her body.
That's
So so babies are also instinctively attuned with the love of the mother, so they are seeking the mother's warmth, the mother rhythms of life. It's through the mother that they understand for the first time. All of us, for the first time, we knew what was love, what was connection. It was through our mother, right? Babies are definitely resilient. That's one of the things. I'm very hopeful in humankind. I watch my children. I see sometimes they have totally different ideas from me, and when we exchange together, I'm so hopeful. I'm so happy that this new generation is coming up and finding new ways and new things. And definitely, babies share that since the very beginning, since they are in the womb, so they adapt as much as possible because they want to survive, right? So they adapt
Mhm.
that psycho physiological aspects to the challenge that they have in the womb. And it's great when we have a mother that, even though she can be stressed out, and I teach this on my classes, even though we can be stressed out, because life is rolling through stress, right? It's not everything is perfect. That you can communicate with the baby and say, has nothing to do with you. Mommy is overcoming these challenges. And when mommy is overcoming the challenge, she's teaching her baby that challenges can be overcome, right?
Yeah, that's something you
So
can't get in a sterile environment of
exactly, exactly. So unborn babies are constantly connecting. They are constantly forming new bonds and new connections within themselves with their mother. So there's this profound innate ability that babies have and that they expect from a mother. They expect this connection. So there's an interaction. So I expect, and then there's a response, not with an artificial, what we would
Yeah.
call it. I wouldn't call it womb.
I
So,
have a question for Shannon and Dana, you girls. My understanding is that babies expect the best from us, of course, but they don't expect perfection. They expect striving, that effort that comes with it. I see children blossoming when the parent is making efforts. That's all. It's a movement towards something better. How do you experience that in your mothering?
well, I love that you put it that way. I don't know that I've ever thought about them expecting what was it you said? Striving, right?
Yes,
Expecting.
the smile. They want us smiling. They want us happy, striving for something better. Not perfect moms. They
Yeah,
seem to be so welcoming, exactly to who we are, with all our imperfections.
that has surprised me because I felt a lot of guilt as a mom about not doing things right, but how quick my children are at forgiving me and loving me despite my imperfections. And that I'm teaching them even through those imperfections, and hoping that they'll just do better than I have by learning from me and mistakes that I've made.
So for me, I'm at the tail end of so I have children that range from 18 to 30. And so for me, mothering, I'm looking back. I'm looking back and seeing maybe my triumph, so to speak, or or my times that I wish I would have triumphed a little bit more. But as I see my children going into adults and them taking stances on things, and them telling me of memories they have with our family, and them telling me of the areas that they really appreciated and where they bonded with us as parents better, has been so enlightening for me. And also it has enabled me to forgive myself a little bit more, but also be able to look back and be like, what a blessing and true, the best thing I could have done is have these children, not just for myself, but for them. And that they're going to take it into their future posterity. I have loved being a mother. And they have told me, you're going to get me choked up here, Laura, by this question, that it has made them excited about being parents. And
Yes,
to me, that
yes,
is success.
What a
yes, yes,
legacy. That's
yes.
beautiful.
It was one of the biggest experience that I had in my life was when my oldest kid came to me and he said, Mom, I really, really want to have kids. He doesn't has a girlfriend or anything, but he said, I really, really, really want to be a parent. I said, I wasn't expecting, and that I want to raise a family. I want to have a family, and I want to have children. And I said, well, that's great. That's great. And when I have children, I'll come here. I put them here in the house, and you can also, educate them. And I'm, no, 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 no. But I was so happy that he was, especially my husband was like, what? But when we think about this, and he still has this vibrant feeling within him that although, life is not perfect, we are not perfect, we are, and especially I think with the oldest one, we are constantly learning and learning and learning, right? The oldest one is the one that, can capture all our faults also. And when he said that, I thought, okay, okay, I don't feel so guilty anymore. Yes.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that's the downside of epigenetic study. That's not something that you can artificially produce in epigenetics. And so I know we've touched on this conversation a little bit with epigenetics throughout our dialogue today, but is there anything that you would like to add? What challenges do you see with this perfectionist world of transhumanism taking the role of mothers and the human touch? Is there anything else you want to add on that topic? Either one of you.
Many things can happen in the life of a mother from pregnancy to when her babies are 30 that will impact these children. But in the early stages of parenting, it's not what happens to the woman that will influence the baby, is how she lives it, how she goes through it. She can have a beautiful mansion and feel bored. Spend a whole pregnancy being bored, expecting the husband after work. And she can be in tough situations like in a, I don't know, like a place of difficult life in outskirts of India or Rio de Janeiro. And that pregnancy can bring her hope for life. So we will have a hopeful being born in the middle of a slum. When in a mansion we have a person who will be born with great intelligence but might devise weapons of mass destruction, bring the opposite of hope to humanity. So for epigenetics orchestrate how the genetics are going to work. Some genes will be silenced, others will even be made anew if it's necessary. They found that at the level of bacteria, not just us human beings. So, yes, a biology of perception, like Bruce Lipton used to say, the way I see life will bring an impact, direct impact on my biology, according to my opportunities, according to my gifts for life. But I can be much better than I was meant to be genetically, and I can be much worse. And my children also can be much better or much worse, and all the in between. We could speak a lot about the philosophy that comes with epigenetics. Great teachers like Peter Nathaniel's bringing for the greater public the understanding of epigenetics and saying it's so much freedom, but freedom to make it worse or make it better. It depends on how the woman is. That's why we need the sisterhood. We need to know that we belong together to the same. It's a divine polarity. We were made the ones who can deal with matter, and matter matters. My physical body matters. Otherwise, I won't be here bridging heaven and earth. I need this body. It's my instrument. Please, let's give better and better instruments to the newcomers on this planet.
Such beautiful thoughts.
Hmm. Yeah. So my next question, I'm curious, Susanna, what changes or effects have you seen that help you realize you're making a positive impact in the world through this prenatal alliance, through your personal work? What experiences lead you to that?
I think first of all, and it has to do also with our mission, we want to collaborate, have a collaboration with individuals, organizations, and I think that's the biggest impact that we are noticing now. So when we started, what we felt is that the knowledge of prenatal education, the knowledge of the impact of what happens, because this is not new. This has 30, 40 years of research and investigation already going. So what we felt was that the knowledge was there, but it was within the sphere of academia. So we needed to put it out there for people. That's why we created videos, we started creating resources, we did the summit, we started the World Pregnancy Day, because it's through collaboration with individuals, organizations, not only with top universities or top organizations, that we can put information out there. I think when we have achieved a big critical mass, things are going to change. There's no way that it's not going to change. And the changes come not only in sharing information, but also doing practical things and how we take care of a mother when she's actually, or a family thinking about having a baby, not just when they are going to have birth, not just when they are pregnant, but actually, we are thinking about having a baby. Okay, so what is the baby that we want to bring to this world? Are there any family issues that we should be concerned about, that we should not only physical but also psychologically, what can be addressed? How can we support this family to to do the best mission that they can have, which is to raise a new human being, bring a new human being into this world. So that's what we want. And in our mission, we want to collaborate with everybody, not to see frontiers, not to see, yeah, it's really hard work, but it's good work. It's
Mhm.
really hard work. It is, we know, but we can do this, and it's the right thing to do.
I love that.
So you kind of touched on from your perspective of both of the work that you do. And this question can be for either one of you, so feel free to both answer or just one of you. Um, what can we or anyone listening to this podcast do to honor and support life culture? What are some action items, in other words? So for me, support, it's an action, right? Sometimes we're like, we support you, but what can I do really is what I'm trying to
Yeah.
say. So what would you say?
We have a very strange situation because we're speaking about something so obvious, something that deep inside we all know because we went through that experience. If you would ask me, what do you wish for humanity? I would tell you that from exactly now on, every baby being conceived around the world is conceived in an act of love, real love, surrender to love, and possibly love of God, love for God. I mean, this is something simple, but it would already change the whole curve of our human civilization. I have many more things to wish for humanity, but
Mm.
right now, let the young people know about this power of the beginning of a conception that is an embrace of love.
And how would you say we would do that? How would we teach the rising generation to embrace this love?
Songs, movies, Broadway shows, schools, bestsellers, TV series, discussions about it. It's a taboo. If I ask one of you, how do you think you're going to die? No, no, it's a taboo. So behind every taboo, there's something very interesting. If I ask you, Dana, how were you conceived? What did your parents have in mind? Whoa, wait a second. I mean, birth, I can speak about my birth, but my conception, oh no. So let's take away that taboo. Let's see what the wealth of understanding that is behind it, the very beginning. So I would go for information. And of course, when heaven says yes, that information will reach everybody. In the
Mm.
meantime, it's been about 48 years that I've been preparing myself to give better and more and better to those who surround me. Now the surroundings are fantastic because I can be with other continents through Zoom, but it's still too few people know about it. Too few.
Yeah. We can educate, as Laura is saying, we can raise awareness about the importance of prenatal education from conception onwards. We can about the importance of prenatal care, even with the birth workers, with the maternal health workers. The pregnancy, as Michelle O'Donnell was saying, and I loved when he gave this analogy. Pregnancy, it's about two people, the mother and the child. That's it. That's it. The others are there just in case of need, just if she needs it. But this is just about this. These are the two most important people that we have. Okay. So if we can educate about the impact of the prenatal environment for our lifelong health, physically and psychologically, and even spiritually, let's talk about spiritually and socially. We can advocate and make pressure on government's policies to protect, to enhance prenatal health and prenatal well-being. We can
Mhm.
collaborate, as I was saying, with organizations, with community, share this knowledge. So there are definitely practical things that we want to do, but we also need someone that a country or a government that really wants, and we have some that are bringing up this knowledge to their countries, to their communities, but more needs to be done. So that's why I think the critical mass of people needs to be bigger and bigger and bigger, and the work cannot stop, and it's on
But
us.
yeah, and Shannon, I invite you to visualize a world where in every country there would be many places chosen beautifully in great spaces where women can go during their pregnancy, the time they wish, but they can be there walking in nature, fountains, trees, flowers, but theaters and libraries and conferences and choirs, whatever they want, but they are there with a synergy between their babies in womb, and that would be the most extraordinary way to say welcome to Earth. Baby, I'm here for you. Perhaps this would be needed for 2 or 3 generations until we have healed so many wounds. Even about the way we were ourselves cared in the womb of our mothers. There is, I loved your stories, Susanna, about the mother saying, whoops, this is not my fear. It's a baby who's listening to the thunder, hearing that. And, but that would be a real political way to help future generations to, to be worthy of this human adventure that we all have here, and we will be able to close prisons and psychiatric hospitals. Bye bye. Those two are big polarity. They show us that we're not being successful. There's something wrong if I have a psychiatric hospital or a prison. Somehow we betrayed life. So let's go back to where life starts and see how we can remediate and bring people better equipped to live here on earth.
Yeah, that's beautiful. It's a really great way of looking at it. Let's go back to the beginning, that life culture, if we can honor and support that in our homes and promote that in the communities, in the world, we will create a better world. And I think what you guys are doing with this World Prenatal Summit is going to have a huge impact. It will be really helpful. So again, tell us how we can get information about that, how we
Yeah.
can get into it.
So we're going to share the links. You can always go to our website, which is prenatalalliance.org. You can also know more about what is all about the World Pregnancy Day on worldpregnancyday.com. You can share the information on social media. You can register for free on our summit. So, I hope that you also have these links on as you share our interview. And, just come along, share what is being done, and spread it throughout the world. The more people that know, the more power we are going to have to make this officially proclaimed around the world.
Absolutely. Yes. Thank you so much. This has been a really great conversation. I want to throw out too that your website's really great, has so many resources. The list of books I started reading through is an incredible list of books and resources to support moms and life culture. And so I encourage everybody to go and look at that. And also just want to remind all of you guys listening in, joining us today, that we would love to have you be a part of Big Ocean Women, supporting faith, family, and motherhood. Let's join together to become this global sisterhood and make a difference in the world. Thank you, Susana. Thank you, Laura. Such a great conversation today.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
for
you.
everything you're doing for hope and educating our future for a better humanity. Thank you. Thank you for your time today.
Thank you. And Godspeed. Thank you.
Join us next time for a conversation with Maddie Cheers. She will tell the story of how she was fooled by the women's liberation movement to think that motherhood was slavery. But after 2 abortions, she started to question that and has become a powerful advocate for life. If you enjoy these episodes, please share, like, comment, subscribe, and we would love to have you join us in our virtual wave meetings the first Wednesday of every month, 9 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. Find out more at bigoceanwomen.org.